The engine is starting up.
For launch. GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps. The cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Good morning, I'm Ed Odell.
Hey, I'm Ryan. What's up?
And this is What's Going Down, your monthly news, bringing you the top stories of science and all layles. We're going to give you the top of, we might do some sports. You know, we're into that wrestling thing. You know, get a little bit of that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some stuff going down.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to bring you social science, social interaction, social news, and all types. Just like, unfortunately, there's been a lot of negative in the last 6 weeks that I'd rather not talk about. But let's say our prayers go out to so many people who no longer are with us. We're going to put it that way.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of negativity in the past week or so with everything that's been going on, and I'm wondering if that affects the paranormal at all.
That's a good question.
Because it's the way that we have social media now, it could spread a lot faster than it could before, when we didn't have the way of like communicating and stuff.
Yeah.
And just makes you wonder if it could affect.
Well, I mean, it's going to affect the investigators.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get political on this, but it could damper and really put a solitude on in type investigations, which if you're a proper paranormal researcher, you know that's going to interfere with your investigations. They're going to know that. They're going to feel that. So they're going to react to that. So
yeah,
that's the way I feel about it. Man, we got a lot going on this month. a lot going down. What do you say that we do like we always do? Let's see if I can get her set up.
Okay.
It's always.
Check the weather on the sun.
Yeah, because it's really actually important this time. Pardon me, it really is. Let me get. Good Lord. Daggone thing. Get working with me. It's not want to work here. All right, I'll go back and do it this way. Oh, come on.
Damn it.
I know I can't get it to do right, dude. Oh my God, what the hell? YouTube issues. No. It's not what I'm looking for. Sorry, y'all. Give me just a second. For some reason, my system just went no.
I mean, it happens.
It does. And I'm just like, wow. Okay, that's not supposed to happen like that.
See, RJ woke me up at 5 o'clock this morning, ready to go.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It sounds like both of us, because man, I didn't sleep worth nothing, man. I was just like, what is up? It's just a rough night all
I
around.
have a hard time sleeping too. I always have a hard time sleeping after the show though, because I always get so like pumped up for it, and then it takes me a second to calm down, to calm my nerves.
Right. Now that's understandable. Well, okay, get back here. There we go. Nope. Where'd you go? All right, now we got her. All right. Had it. Okay. Now I think we got it. I think we're going to theater. We appreciate everybody. We're going to link Miss Tabitha in. Let's get our solar news first, and let's jump right on into it.
Inside of a coronal hole has given us a big solar storm. And hold on to your hats, because we have a lot of new activity rotating into Earth view. Those stories and more are in this week's Spotlight. If you want to learn how weather from our star causes impacts at the Earth that shape the future of our world, join Professors Dr. Jenny Meehan, Michael Cook, and myself as we guide you through a space weather certificate program like no other. To enroll in the Space Weather and Environment Science program offered at Millersville University, go to millersville.edu/SWEN. It's weather for the 21st century. This forecast also sponsored in part by CW Ops. Space weather this week is picking up in a big way. We've had a lot of activity both on the west limb and the east limb. You can see region 4207 firing like that. We also have big filament launches right there. There's also a massive filament launch here right about midday on the 12th. Look at that massive eruption. That was a gorgeous one. We also have a near firing right here with a small eruption going off like this. So we've had a ton of activity, but we just haven't had anything that's Earth directed. You can see we also have a lot of stuff that are rotating into the Earth view from the far side. You can see this eruption here. We also have a filament that launches here in just a second. On top of that, we've got region 4216 and region 4217. They are both becoming big flare players, so expect to see a lot of activity from them this week. We also, of course, have had a big solar storm, but none of the stuff that I've talked about is really the source of it. The source of the big solar storm is due to this coronal hole right here, which is a really noteworthy coronal hole for a number of reasons. As you'll see, when it rotated to about center disk, a lot of people were looking at it and saying, oh, it looks kind of like Tasmania, or maybe a butterfly. But it also, as it rotated to the west limb, it looked maybe like a heart. It kind of changed a little bit, or possibly a bird. But that's not the big story. Really, when we look at this, we typically think that these coronal holes, well, it's just the angle by which you view them that changes their shape. And that's what I had thought originally. But then we had a big solar storm from the fast solar wind from this coronal hole, which was not expected. This coronal hole has a polarity that right now is not supposed to give us big storms or big aurora. So I decided to take a closer look, and that maybe this isn't just projection effects. Maybe there's something really changing. So as we end up taking a closer look at this structure with the magnetic polarity, you're looking at a composite view of the sun with HMI, which is basically our magnetic imager, as well as an overlay of a image of the sun that actually shows you where those coronal hole boundaries are. This is 211 angstroms if you're interested. Anyway, as I put this in motion just a little bit, you can see that there's a lot of like little yellow looking ants. Do you see all the little dots? This is the polarity of the coronal hole. This is what we call a negative polarity. And you can see pretty much the whole coronal hole has that. But as it rotates through center disk, look at what begins to develop. Do you see all of this stuff in here? This is blue. This is actually the opposite polarity. So instead of having an entire coronal hole that's negative polarity, there was an island of blue, possibly a finger that kind of tucked down in here and began to poke out in the middle. Well, this little pit of blue magnetic field orientation, that positive polarity, is what ended up giving us about 6 hours worth of really intense storming. So it tells us that even though we have polarities of coronal holes that are supposed to be indicative of whether or not something is going to be storm worthy or not, little things like this can really make a big difference and change a nothing burger into a G3 level solar storm.
So that kind of gives a little bit of more explanation for the last 2 weeks of what you may be experiencing out there with your cell phones, with your texting going wacky, with your cell phone is not making communication, or you're not even getting cell service. There you go. There's your reason. They didn't even know it. That's the interesting part. They didn't even know this was going to happen. So if they don't know, can leave us in the dark, man. So I'm glad we were able to explain that a little bit and get that out there for everybody, because I really want that.
Yeah, when you messaged me the other day and said Tabitha was talking about that stuff happening, I'm thinking like, who's Tabitha? And I felt bad because I'm like, am I supposed to know who Tabitha? Like maybe she was part of the group or something. And I'm like, I don't know who Tabitha is. If she's like a R.I.F.T Nation host that I don't know. So then I'm calling that. I'm like, oh, Tabitha, I got you.
You forgot all about her.
Yeah, I mean, I just forgot her name.
Dr.
Tabitha
Scov.
It's cool that we can go and we actually look at the weather on the sun and figure out how it affects our everyday lives. You know, I need to subscribe to her channel and watch it.
I'm actually putting it in the chat right now. All you need to do is go over to YouTube, check out and subscribe to Dr. Tabitha Scovs.
Okay, I will do that.
There you go. That way you can get your update every month, every week, whenever she puts it out. We try to hopefully time the show along with when she does. Things will be changing, but yeah, we wanted to get that in there. So absolutely. A lot in the news.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, you want me to jump right into it?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
All right. September 2025 has seen significant developments in modern science with major advancements in AI, space exploration, medicine. Meanwhile, paranormal news in the same period focuses on anecdotal reports, scheduled public events rather than scientific variations. Well, that's interesting. In modern news, next generation quantum phase of matter. IBM and researchers at the University of Chicago used a 58 quad-bit quantum computer to create and observe a Flotex typically ordered state, a long theosized phase of matter. Next one is your AI leadership shift at Nokia. That's interesting. The company announced the creation of a new technology and AI organization to accelerate its focus on applied AI development. That's scary. Let's see here. Sovereign AI Solutions, also known as ASUS, unveiled a suite of services for sovereign AI, stressing national autonomy and calibrations with other tech companies like NVIDIA and AMD. Oh, we got some good stuff here, Ryan. Let me jump on. Keep going here. Space exploration and astronomy. Successfully private moon landing. Check this out. A private spacecraft successfully landed on the moon in a historic event confirmed by NASA. That's interesting. Next one is a Cygnus XL cargo mission delayed, of course. The new Northrop, yeah, right. The new Northrop Grumman cargo spacecraft, Cygnus XL, experienced a thruster issue while en route to the International Space Station, forcing a delay in the docking. Now, that's intriguing. And anytime, Ryan, you want me just to stop and talk about something, just grab his hand.
Like the AI stuff is happening so fast; it's hard to keep track of like what's going on, or like, you know, it's hard to. It seems like it's advancing all the time.
Yeah,
you know.
And I agree. And those of you who are in chat, you're with us right now, you know, feel free to speak up, give us your opinion, your thought. It's all about you guys too. This is all of our shows. We're just delivering what we have found in our news and the updated for you guys. But if you have any questions, anything, ask away. And if we don't have the answer, we will find it out. But no, you're exactly right, Ryan. In fact, I just saw another video that actually that's Rhonda and I, we'll be having a panel guest on Sunday night. And we're actually going to talk a little bit about this because it's an advancement for 2030. And it's kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of scary, brother.
It is. You know, we don't know how what it's going to lead to.
Is it going to lead to the extinction of mankind? That's scary. We already know that some people want us to go take our brains and get zapped into our computer and just be nothing. We don't exist. How is that existing mankind? How is that society?
It's like the people who you know, think that an AI replica of a person who passed away is the same thing.
Right. It's far from the same. I mean, first and foremost, it doesn't have a soul. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. It's not going to respond in certain ways the same way as the natural person would have, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
No, it's not. But I think if it starts out like with us now, and then eventually throughout the years, as people get, you know, born, and, you know, it becomes more of just a way of life. Like, it has to start somewhere, and then eventually it'll just become like, oh yeah, when a person passes away, just upload their personality to this device or robot, and it'll be like they're still there. It's like the guy, I think we did one the last time, where the guy son did an AI interview.
No, that was that the show before last, or was that the last show?
Might have been. Hey, Ryan from Paranormal Theories on with us.
Hey, how are you doing, Ryan? We appreciate you being here.
But it's not true feelings. It's not like, be like what he could have said, like based on the data of what he said before. But people can change.
Well, you know, here's the other thing. You're talking about free thought and artificial intelligence. Okay, that's just it. Artificial intelligence. Where's the emotion going to come in? Because we all know when you create the AI, you're creating the response without emotion, which is what makes a human. So everything would be logical. There's that word. You're going to hear that a lot in the next 5 years. Logical. Not being Star Trek-ish or anything, y'all. You're going to hear it a lot, so be ready for it.
And even if it's artificial emotion, that's not real emotion.
No.
You know, you can't make that up.
Exactly. You know, I'm not going to get too perverted on this, but just think about this. okay, where's the reproduction supposed to come from? It's already like we're already seeing men buying artificial partners, women. We already know they got artificial partners. What's that going to
I
do to
mean,
us?
men have had artificial partners for a long time. Just go to the
Yeah, you're
blow
right.
up section of
They
your.
blow it up. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Now it's more interactive.
I mean, yeah. I mean, some of the stuff you see on like online, there is definitely AI has definitely got a lot better.
Yeah.
As far as like way people look. They say Michelle.
Good morning, lady. And you know what? And that's the other scary part that's leading to 2030 is how AI is representing life. Now it's getting to that point like counterintelligence. We don't know at this point what is fake and real. That's why I try to add up. If an AI can duplicate my personality, we're all screwed. We're going to hell. It's not good.
Only room for one hitman on this planet, and I'm looking at him right there.
Yeah, because other than that, heads will explode.
It's like crossing the streams. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah, don't cross the street. Exactly right. Well, in other news, we got dark matter discovery. Hey, some dark matter's back in the news. Scientists developed a new detector. It's called the QROCODILE, the QRODIL, that has found signals at energy levels previously thought impossible, offering clues to dark matter. Now, I was reading something about that actually, and this goes into the paranormal. And this actually has a little bit to do with the upside down. They're finding that dark matter, at least what there is giving off a specific signal. This is intriguing, especially if you're a paranormal investigator. That's one of the things we look for. We look for sounds. We're hearing this stuff. And now they're saying that this particular type of energy is giving off an unusual sound. Not all energy gives off sound. This is supposedly known. Vibrations create sound. But it's more interesting because of the impossible, as they use the word, impossible to the possible. Here we go again, impossible to possible.
Well, I mean, I guess I watch these videos on YouTube talking about different things, different like areas giving off sounds where scientists are not sure what it means, or what it could lead to, I guess.
Well, look at the last since 2012, all around the world. We don't even know what that was. We still don't know. Could it have been the SR-72? Could it be the P-40 or the F-4, whatever the hell they want to call that thing? Could it have been Switchblade? Could it have been them tunneling underneath the earth? Or could it have been an energy vibration coming from somewhere else? Interesting. It's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff always fascinates me, for sure.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot out there that we don't know.
I agree. I totally agree, and that's why we're trying to keep up on it and seeing where it's going, and understand it. That's why I love doing what we're doing right now. Is it helps us understand the situation a little better than just being out there and catching it off the newspaper and going, "What the hell is this?" Now we know we're already in the middle. We're in the melting pot of what's taking place as we get the news, and we're like, "Oh, well, this links to that. To this links to that." Okay. So I think it helps us all around in the scientific community, in the paranormal community, and even in the psychological community.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's definitely helps to talk about that stuff, and people like to hear it. I think they like to, have the discussion.
Yeah, well, they have the freedom to hear it and know it. That's the other thing. Nothing's hidden really at this point. How we're aware of. Let's put that. Yeah. In other news, confirmation of Hawking's black hole theory. Gravitational wave data provided the clearest evidence yet to confirm one of Stephen Hawking's black hole theories. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so some of Steven's stuff is starting to come to light now too. A whole lot of stuff coming to light in 2025, isn't it? Woo!
It really is. And again, with all this, all the ways of getting the information out there, stuff that we probably would have heard unless we like to subscribe to some science magazine. And even then, we won't hear about it until like 2 or 3 months later because you've got to get it published and sent out. So this stuff that's happening, we're hearing about in real time.
Real time. That's what we wanted to do this show. It is in real time. I mean, it's still, it's not the next day, it's not the next week, but you're getting it in that 1 month where you have to go dig for it. Other than if we weren't here, that's why we like doing what we're doing. You don't have to dig for it.
Yeah,
we can give you the subjects and you go dig it for yourself because now it's there. Because we have some really interesting stuff that's on the news this year, this month. Blech, too much coffee.
Yeah.
Sleep.
I had coffee earlier, it wore off, and now I'm drinking my cup number 2 here.
I'm looking over there going, I might have to do a number 2 myself.
I'm tempted. I might have to do one to get another one here soon.
I hear you. Well, and other news and medical and health advice, Ryan. Let me jump into that real quick. We knock these out because I really want to get down to the paranormal news. Stem cells reverse stroke damage. This is interesting. Scientists in Iraq have demonstrated a mice that stem cell transplants can restore motor functions and generate neurons after a stroke. Further goes diabetes treatment breakthrough. A new treatment has been eliminated. That's interesting. Eliminated the need for supplemental insulin in a small group of type 1 diabetes patients for at least 1 year. Next is cannabis and diabetes risk. Oh, this is an interesting one. Listen to this, you guys. A large-scale study suggests that cannabis use may nearly quadruple a person's risk of developing diabetes. Okay. I think that's a fucking given. Sorry, I didn't mean to use the S word, you guys. Sorry about that, but you're smoking cannabis, you're pretty much going to eat everything in sight, right?
That's true. That's the end of the munchies.
And there's your diabetes for you.
Which is like, so that's what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Last part of the medical is new drug for fatty liver disease. UC San Diego scientists identified a new drug, Ion 224, that could treat a dangerous form of fatty liver disease. Oh, that's neat. We got one more other than the news on the archaeology and ancient history before we get into the paranormal. Confirmation of early Homo erectus, a 1.8 million year old human jaw found in the Republic of Georgia, may be the earliest evidence of Homo erectus. Oh, that's pretty cool. Further note, ancient Roman treasures. A 1,900-year-old oil lamp was found in a Roman cemetery in the Netherlands. Oh, that's cool. And a family scorched house in Romania yielded the Roman-era treasure. Oh, no, that's cool as shit. I'm sorry. That's cool.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. That's the other thing. They still are trying to figure out. They say there's people that think they know the difference between the regular oil and the other oil that the Romans and Greeks use. And it's Greek fire. Huh?
Yeah. I was telling Angie that I made RJ more apples.
Oh, gotcha.
For his lunch. Sorry. Forgot to mute myself.
Well, Archimedes and a lot of them wrote about super weapons and stuff. But, what is the difference between regular oil and Greek fire? So that's intriguing. That's why I love getting in here and some of this stuff because, what was that lantern? What kind of oil? I wonder if they can figure that out. That's interesting.
Are you can you link these articles onto the Rift Nation page?
Yep. Sure can.
That way people can go back and they can look at it and see for themselves.
I can copy and paste right in there on a, modern news or, September's modern update news, however we want to put it. Sure can.
Awesome.
So let's, that's interesting. I'm not going to talk about that. There's one that's about a new film that's about to come out. but that deals with someone. I'm not sure if you know who she is, but if you've ever met her. But I happen to know Corinne Smurl very well. And yeah, there's something about to come out. I'm actually going to talk to the author here very soon about the family and talk about the Warrens. So that's going to be a
Oh.
really cool one. Yeah.
I got one actually about the new Conjuring movie.
Sweet. Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to let you roll with that just after this.
Okay.
Here it is, folks. Paranormal news, what most of us are all about. UFO, UAP footage. Military UFO video shown in Congress. A congressman released a never before seen video purporting to, what the hell is purporting? To show a U.S. military Hellfire missile bouncing off a shiny object off the coast of Yemen. Ooh. How about you out there, UFOologists? There's one for you. All right. Let's get this going. Ghost and haunted locations. We're doing some props and ops and throwing it out there. As of right now, let's see. Haunted hotel investigation. A paranormal investigation team has been examining the Mary Jean Hotel. Mary Jean, I don't know how to say Jean or Jean. It's in St. Pete, Florida. And is reported feeling off balance in certain areas. Okay, cool. Frank Castle, and see, this is what we need more of. Everybody sharing their investigations and their results. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
We can get something like this going and just sharing it with people. Franklin Castle sweepstakes. A cocktail brand is running a promotional sweepstakes to win a haunted overnight stay at the Franklin Castle in Cleveland. Check it out. Next, we've got German American Heritage Center investigation. A paranormal team scheduled an event and investigate a historic building in Iowa with a notorious past. Oh, and last but not least, San Antonio Paranormal Fest, an annual event, is set to take place at the reported haunted Victoria's Black Swan Inn. And that is your news for September 17th, 2025.
Well, let's see here. I did some digging and I found some hard-hitting paranormal news that you only get here on the What's Going Down podcast.
Bam.
I had a threesome with a bisexual woman and my dead husband's ghost. He finally got his happy ending.
Bring it on. This is going to be great.
Yeah. This is actually from the New York Post too. So not like some like Inquirer shit. He's her boo. A UK widow brought new meaning to being with someone in spirit after allegedly having a threesome with a woman and the ghost of her dead husband. I don't believe in a literal afterlife, but I felt his presence as we had sex. Nikki Wake, 53, told Jam Press while describing her alleged post-mortem menage a trois. It's Jam Press, so you know that's a legitimate news source right there.
Right.
The Manchester resident who identifies as bisexual claimed her husband Andy had dreamt about having a threesome, something she had secretly fantasized about as well. However, it wasn't until her husband's wait till after he's dead. Okay, it wasn't until her husband's timely death from COVID in 2020 that she was able to make his dream come true by linking up with someone who had the hots for her late hubby. What in the world? She like never barks, and all of a sudden she tries to bark. I'm trying to do this.
She's got some stuff to say, man.
I guess so. Where was I? Oh yeah. Let's see here. Shit. Menu keeps coming out. The Manchester resident who identifies as bisexual claimed her husband had dreamt about having threesome. Something she had secretly fantasized about as well. Okay. They reportedly had made whoopee in Andy's honor and claimed his spirit was there like a salacious version of the supernatural romance flick Ghost. The Brit claimed they had nearly had a third-party fling while he was alive on several occasions, including with an American couple they met on a nude beach. Then they mulled having another Randy triple header at a New Year's party, but refrained from pulling the trigger. If we were going to go for it, I assumed we'd either use a specialist dating site or perhaps hire an escort, said Wake. I was always a little hesitant about introducing a third person to what was a deeply loving and fulfilling relationship. But as a one-off for a special occasion, it felt like it could be fun and memorable for both of us. Unfortunately, the widow never got the chance, as her other half contracted COVID, which caused him to suffer severe complications. Andy then suffered a series of catastrophic heart attacks that led to a severe brain injury, leaving him with no capacity, lamented Wake. Her paramour passed away in 2020 at a care home at the age of 54. This destroyed Wake, who feared she'd never be able to place what they had. But before Andy became ill, we had a passionate and satisfying sex life, said the bereaved woman. I couldn't imagine never feeling that again. Nonetheless, Wake re-entered the dating pool at the age of 49, listing herself as bisexual on romance sites as she'd dated women in the past and wasn't ready to be intimate with another man. Andy had been the only one for 20 years, she reasoned. It felt intimidating to connect with a woman. It felt less intimidating to connect with a woman. Despite feeling nervous and out of practice due to her newly widowed status, Wake got lucky. You gotta get back in there. Wake got lucky and met an incredibly kind woman on one of the romance sites. After an initial date, she went back to Wake's place and carried out their so-called phantom rendezvous. She thanked me for being open and told me she'd be honored to help me feel something other than grief, said Wake. She also reassured me that Andy would want me to discover rediscover my sexuality. Of course, she would say that. Oh, sure, he'd want this. Yeah, it's fine. When they removed to the bedroom, the unnamed woman noticed Andy's picture and commented how beautiful it was and how she would have happily slept with you both if he were alive today. Wow, that's touching. During the romp, Wake said she felt the Widowmaker's presence. The Widowmaker's presence.
Widowmaker. Okay.
Wow. And said that he'd absolutely support her getting back in the sack with a woman. In other words, the other woman allowed him to love vicariously through her, whether or not she really carnally commune with the dead. I could almost hear him say, "You deserve joy, just don't forget me," recounted Wake. "I never will. He was my soulmate." Reborn Brett claims she now identifies as a polyamorous and has multiple ongoing relationships, although she hasn't specified if her late hubby has made a post-mortem cameo in any of her flings. Inspired by her saga, Wake created a website called Widow's Fire that allows widows and widowers to keep that spark alive after losing a spouse. So
the sad part is it's true. I know.
I mean, there are lots of people who claim to have sex with ghosts.
You can see it. That's a partial possession. Get in there. I need to have sex with her.
Yeah, exactly.
I need you.
I mean,
come here, baby.
This guy wanted to have a threesome with his wife, and she waited until he was dead to have one. Wow.
Feels like the first time.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good. That was a good one, Ryan.
Like I said, the hard-hitting news we have here in the on the What's Going Down podcast.
Man, we get some good stuff. I love when we get some good, juicy stuff like that. It just makes it all worth it. It really does.
Yeah.
I got one little thing. I got a small quick video. We're gonna
jump
in. I just want to jump in there with the moon thing and let people up there. I got that set. All right, and this is by Wion, W-I-O-N on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, I understand that it's already passed.
Yeah, so it
I
was a
get
little
that.
late for that, but
Right.
you know,
But my purpose was that was the last blood moon of 2025.
that's crazy.
And
It feels like this year has gone by really fast.
you know, it feels like it. All right, for me, I'm going to back you up on this one. Sometimes it feels like it goes really fast, and sometimes it feels like it's not going fast enough.
Yeah, I can see that. Like when you're in the middle of it, like this summer felt like it was just taking forever
Yeah.
to get through, and then you look back at it, it's like, oh, it really didn't take much time at all. But when you're in the midst of it, in the middle of it, it feels like it takes a long time. Took a long time to get through.
Yeah.
I think I honestly think it was cloudy here when the blood moon was going on, anyways.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was here. We could see it here in Roanoke a little. I don't know about there in Richmond, but I know we could see it a little bit through the clouds here. And I'm up on a higher sea level, so
Yeah.
I wish I had gotten some pictures of it. I really do. But it was really, I understand the pictures I saw. A lot of people took some amazing pictures of the blood moon, and congratulations to all of you who did that. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it.
Ryan, you got something else for us, brother man?
Now, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and add a video to the screen here.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is from the Conjuring movie.
Oh,
Share.
now is this what we were? So, which Conjuring is this?
The new one.
Okay. This is
The
what
one that came.
I'm glad you're doing it. No, you're fine. I just didn't want to do it.
I might not be the same video, so I don't know.
It's all good.
All right, let's see here.
Yeah, I get battered, Francesca. Like you see that? I mean, it depends whether it's upside down or not, whether they're crosses or upside down crosses. I guess it depends on how I show you my leg. Like that's just like, yeah, that happens every time we do it. It's just these inexplicable bruising shapes that occur in my body, and it is what it is.
I've said this in response to even what Vera's talking about with stuff that's happened on set. I think anytime something happens in real life, I never sensationalize it. So there's a lot of unexplained things, and anytime you're dealing with real people, real families, real friends, that's much bigger than any of this other stuff.
How many cases you guys had?
So I mean, getting
he's
some
right.
Interesting bruising on her legs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know.
Look, man, this is the one thing I'll say. Just because he just made a comment about it, and he's a decent actor, and I don't have anything against The Conjuring. They're making a shitload of money, okay? And luckily, it's going in, from my understanding, going in a good direction of, of keeping things going. But he's right about that, and I would say, I'm sure you've experienced the same thing. It's one thing to read, I know you have, because we read the book together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's one thing to experience a location. It's one thing to take a location out of a book, which Susan Swartz, props to her, mad props, her and Pamela Kennedy. So I want to give props to our Virginia authors. You go to that location, it's pretty cool. Even if you can't get inside, you've been to that location. And next step is getting inside, and the people who might have run the place might have been a part of something going on there. Third is that group of people that actually had the event happen to them, and they become your friends or someone and an associate. Again, just like this franchise, there is an individual I know that was part of this franchise that her and her sisters have issues. I also have another friend, I say associate, that was a part of another one of the Conjuring movies. She's really into ufology now, so that was interesting how that whole direction of hers. And then of course the Irving sisters, right up in Harrisonburg, that had all that experience happening to them, and to her children in Virginia Beach. So I've got a lot of friends now that have had those paranormal experiences, and it does hit you a little closer than usual.
Yeah, that is true. Let's see here. I've got the cause of death for Dan Rivera. Should I play that one?
Yeah, let's go for that, and then I'll head up with some science, and we can. Yeah, we got time.
And I've also got a video, the missile bouncing off the UFO. Which one do
you have that? Really?
Yeah.
Do you really have that one? You know what? Why don't you play that, since I just read that out, so people can see what I just read? And for those who are asking, yes, I just put the updated September news on the post board on the Rift Nation Network fan page on Facebook.
Okay. I gotta show me how to do that. I'm not sure how to do that. I just copy and paste it onto the Rift page.
Pretty much.
The threesome news. Screen share. There we go. All right. It's about a 2.5 minute video. So.
A close encounter on Capitol Hill with Representative Eric Burleson showing some whistleblower video during a hearing about UFOs. It seems to show a U.S. military drone shooting a missile at an unidentified object just off the coast of Yemen last year. But as CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie Daggett reports, the aerial mission did not go as planned.
The newly released video captured by a U.S. Reaper drone shows a glowing orb off the coast of Yemen. Suddenly, on the left side of your screen, you see a Hellfire missile zip in, strike that unidentified object, then bounce right off it. When we slow the video down, you see the Hellfire missile continue to travel on its path, that trajectory becoming clearer from this zoomed-out angle. Not shown is a second Reaper drone that launched the missile. Congressman Eric Burleson shared the video at a House Oversight Committee on what the military calls unidentified aerial phenomena, better known as UFOs.
That's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
We've never seen a Hellfire missile hit a target and bounce off.
Lou Elizondo is a former senior intelligence officer with the Pentagon.
When a Hellfire makes a hit, a kinetic strike on something solid, there's usually not much left of whatever it is it's hitting. It's very, very destructive. What seems to happen is that the missile is either redirected, or in some case, perhaps glances off the object and continues on its way.
A recent government report revealed the government received more than 750 new UAP sightings in the 2024 fiscal year, leaving lawmakers digging into the mystery and national security concerns posed by these objects.
Does this video scare you guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wiggins?
Yes. Yes.
Me too. There's a lot of information that's not in that video, like what mission they were on, and as they said, what are we even looking at here? We do know that the U.S. military was conducting airstrikes against Houthi targets at the time. Pentagon officials tell CBS News, no comment. Charlie Daggett.
So, what are your thoughts?
Bullshit. That's just my opinion. First of all, we have a Hellfire missile that supposedly was fired at a UAP. It supposedly bounced off, but just like, Alejandro said, and I don't trust him whatsoever, it bounced off or reflected. If there's any kinetic energy, the Hellfire missile will ignite. So why was there no explosion? Why was there no impact? You see little sparks or something, but you still see the missile going.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that. Now, two, here's the second part. Oh, boy, we can get really into this. The second part is, why are we shooting at something we have no idea is? Why would they even consider firing a weapon at these craft when they have no idea what these crafts are? And how is this a threat? Now, here's the third part that's got me from day one. Why are these considered national security risk instead of a world security risk?
It was off the coast of Yemen. It wasn't even off the coast of America.
And what does that got to do with us? But
Yeah,
it was,
and
wasn't
there
it?
are other
Yeah.
there are other UAPs that the military has seen, like the Tic Tac, and those crafts that we did not try to shoot at. So what was the reasoning behind trying to shoot at it in the first place?
I don't know. Actually, we're going to be doing a show probably the following Sunday that's going to be talking about a very impactful Ford observer by the name of Charlie. And it's actually has to do with a case that came or was talked about on the WF Files, AJ, and it caught my attention. I'm like, I wanted to talk about it more. It's called Range 4 Charlie.
Oh
And
yeah, that was. I just listened to that one actually.
yeah, so that's a great case, especially because they give more definition.
It's all white.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, so yeah, we're going to be
Yeah,
talking.
I didn't think about the fact that we tried shooting at it, and all we have is a video of the missile shooting at it and bouncing off, but there's no context. You know why we're shooting at it? What we're trying to accomplish?
Why was it taken to them in our in a committee that has nothing to do with the United States, but of course it's UFO, and I get that. But again, like you said, there's no context. There gives us no meaning, no reason behind the situation. Why did the situation take place?
It'd be different if, like, let's say Yemen, the Yemenis military, decided to try to shoot it down, and it didn't work. It bounced off, and they shared the footage with us, and it was okay. They did it, but the fact that it's us, it's like, why? What's I mean, I don't know, because I know, you think you hear people talk. We have the technology, and maybe you're trying to get more of it, or maybe it belongs to another country, and we don't want people to know, or say it's aliens. We want people to know that, hey, we got this stuff. We got this other country has this stuff that we can't shoot down.
Yes, misinformation. Once again, that's exactly right. That's a good point, Ryan. Because
you say it's aliens.
Yeah, they're just using that as you're exactly right, as a cover up. You're right. So that's those things, and I've shared this out to a couple of the UAP UFO groups and some of the conspiracy groups. So if you're watching this, or if you check the archive out, you get some good stuff. Come on, send it over to us. If you're interested, come on over. We'd love to have you on one of our shows too. That's what it's all about, getting you out there. So that was a good follow up, Ryan. That rocked.
Yeah, I think there's so much that misinformation out there that they lead you down paths. So you look over here, so you're not looking over here.
Absolutely.
And absolutely. You say that whole footage.
It's the art of war.
It's
deception.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing it to us.
Why are they so putting it out there for this one where they're like, oh yeah, this is what's happening?
Because they want to create the paranoia. They want to, because remember, the church used paranoia to control the masses. So they want to create paranoia and fear and establish fear, so they have some kind of handle over the general public. And the more we're scared, the more we'll react. Because see, as well as I do as a paranormal investigator, when we're in the field, a lot of new investigators, you like that? I was being nice.
Yeah.
A lot of the new investigators, and some that are just out there to get their freak on, no pun intended, sorry. However, they're out there to get a certain feel, so they get scared and freak out really quick. While those of us who have been in the field and research, we don't jump as fast. We're more into the research, how, what, when, and where. Same thing.
Yeah. When you can control the news, you can control the people. You control, what they think.
When you control Yes, exactly. Control the people by controlled media. I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's not working so much as it was because of the way of social media and being able to find stuff out for yourself and realize that maybe the government doesn't always tell the truth. Shocking. I know.
Dun, dun, dun.
Breaking news, guys.
Breaking
I hate
news.
to break it to you, but so hang on. Didn't do it. My bad. But talking about Dan Rivera, he had a cardiac event that was the cause of his death, and Annabelle was not in the room
Right.
at the time. So
it is interesting, I will say, and just to keep on that subject just for a second, how so many people used that object as the center point of the actions or negative reactions that took place.
yeah.
Could they have fed that energy to make it happen? Again, I bring that back out. I say it again. Maybe it wasn't the doll. Maybe it's everybody else. They went, oh, it's messing with the doll, even though the doll's not supposed to be messed with. It's clearly Lorraine Warren said that doll was not to be moved. And here they are moving it around. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they wanted to take it out and take it on tour, and that, I mean, even if, I mean, there are claims that maybe the Warrens aren't the people that, they said.
That's true. You know what? That is correct. And I'm not gonna go back and do word for word a quote any particular YouTube show or documentary or that, but there's been a lot of documentaries that have stated that, and that I now believe that. Unfortunately, I believe it. There's too much evidence pointing otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, if enough people believe in something, does it become true?
Power of intent, brother. Power of intent.
So it's interesting stuff for sure. And I'm not going to be the one to be like poo on the Warrens name or whatever.
No,
because I don't want to open that can of worms. But
that's distasteful. We're not
do your own research on stuff, and that's what we all have to do.
Yeah,
if we come up to our own conclusions
on
it, because there are a lot of people that believe in them too. So I'm not going to be like, well, you're wrong.
Agreed.
So
agreed.
We
We have two more videos, but maybe we can hold them off, you guys, because we are at the top of the hour. But one does have to do with the 3i Atlas.
Yes.
You want to play that as the ending?
Yeah, I've been listening to the Angry Astronaut, so I have to subscribe to that channel.
Check him out, Angry Astronaut, right here on YouTube. I don't need to write that in there. Angry Astronaut. Just type it in YouTube.
It's not hard to remember.
Yep.
Angry Astronaut.
Subscribe. He's definitely worth it, and it's all legit news. He keeps you updated weekly, daily, and almost hourly at times. So check it out. Angry Astronaut. We can end the show up with this. This is going to be really interesting, in my opinion, on this one. This is going to. I want to make sure I say this right. Where did it go? Because it's not in American or English either. I just want to make sure I get the creator name, and I can't. I can't pronounce that whatsoever. But I will establish the creator's name in the bottom corner, like I have with the others. Maybe not. Ooh. Now it's jumping all over the place, dude. Nope.
There's some difficulties today.
I know, man. I don't know what the hell. Yep. No. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that could do that. Theater mode. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to leave the creator's name up, and we'll go ahead and close this out. And it's going to be about 11 minutes long, so to close this out, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. If there's questions or anything you want to know, send us an email. If you're interested in being on one of our shows, send us an email or inbox us. We'd love to talk to you. All the shows have plenty of a valued time, and any host will be more than happy to talk with you. So we
Yes.
really appreciate y'all. So we will see you next month, but probably not at this time. Just saying.
We'll once we figure out what's going down, we'll let you know.
Oh,
there we go.
Did
See what
you
I did
use
there?
that as our setup?
Yes.
Have a great day, folks.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
3 and Atlas. For months, astronomers have been tracking its trajectory. A cool, predictable, clean arc across the solar system. But the latest data tells a different story. The field cloud isn't lining up the way it should. The chemical makeup doesn't match any comet we know of. And now it seems like its course has changed. Not enough to collide, not enough to panic, but just enough that it doesn't make sense. Why 3 and Atlas? Just changing course is the question no one can answer. The trajectory was said to be immutable, a line drawn by gravity, an equation too simple to question. But the latest observations tell a different story. 3IATL isn't behaving the way it should. As astronomers process the latest images, they notice something subtle. The coma, a fragile shell of gas and dust, has been misaligned with the sun. Instead of stretching out into a predictable tail, it was spreading outward, even forward, as if the comet were defying the rules. At first they thought it was a mistake, a trick of the light, a glitch in the filter. But the data was consistent. Multiple telescopes, multiple nights, the same result. 3. In the Atlas was throwing stuff out in directions that defied explanation. Not just the usual blast away from the heat, but a flare straight toward the sun itself. Like the core had been ripped apart in a way we'd never seen before. This is where the tongue starts to twist. Some called it a change in trajectory. The headlines whispered of a comet that had changed course. Stranger still, though, because on paper, gravity was still in effect. The arc through the solar system was unchanged, but the fine details, the dust, the gas, the orientation of the coma, didn't match the map. Like the body was pulling on something else, or pushing itself. In ways we couldn't yet measure. And then came chemistry. The spectral data showed something that shouldn't be there. Strong emissions of cyanide, strong emissions of nickel, but no iron. Nickel without iron is almost impossible in nature, but not in industry or machinery. Astronomers rushed to explain. Iron is heavier, they said. It stays in the ice longer, only being released near the sun. Perhaps the instruments weren't sensitive enough to detect the faint lines of iron hiding in the coma. Maybe it's there. Too faint to see. Maybe, or maybe not, because the numbers don't add up. Even as 3AI Atlas approached, the nickel signature grew stronger, and the iron remained silent. So now we have two anomalies. A trajectory that doesn't match the dust, and a chemical composition that doesn't fit the rules. And yet the trialist goes on. Silently, steadily, quickly. It will never stop, it will never return. We have only these short months to see it, to measure it, to try to understand it. And yet, the more we watch, the less we understand. Astronomers describe it carefully in papers and telegrams. Words like non-gravitational activity, words like sublimation, anomaly. But outside these circles, the message spreads differently. The three-eyed atlas is said to have changed course. And once such an idea takes root, it does not let go. For if a comet can change its course, what does that mean? If an interstellar object can veer against the sun's gravity, what moves it? What force or whose hand directs its drift? The silence of space provides no answer, only a question that grows louder. Why did 3 alas suddenly change course? There's something else about 3 Atlas. Something more disturbing than its strange dust, its speed. When astronomers traced its path back, they expected clarity. Stars leave imprints, gravitational tugs, quiet encounters over millions of years. Each interstellar wanderer carries with it a map of where it's been. So they pulled a string. Using Gaius's star catalog, they rewinded its orbit back 10 million years. 10 million years of drifting in the dark. And what they found was Lenota's silence. Yes, there had been encounters, a total of 62 times when 3 Italian Liras S passed close to neighboring stars. But none of them made sense. The closest was 72,000 years ago, with a star catalogued as GA-DR 3264. A close pass, a gravitational tug, but too weak to explain what we see now, because 3 Italian Liras S speed is wrong, too high, too sharp, as if it had already been accelerated long before we noticed it. No star in the last 10 million years has given it that kind of energy. No known mechanism explains why it moves the way it does. So the question gets even darker. Where did it get that speed from? What pushed it? What gave it the momentum that carries it past our sun? Some whisper that it must be older than we thought. Older than us, older than the solar system itself. Estimates range from 7 billion to 11 billion years old. An object twice as old as our sun. And time itself doesn't provide an answer, and that leaves us with a silence, more powerful than any discovery. Because if no natural process explains its speed, then we are looking at a momentum without a cause. Motion without origin, impossible speeds, and impossible things have a way of changing us. The calendar marks October 2025, when 3 Etlas will pass close to Mars. Not dangerously close, not close enough to collide, but close enough to disturb us. Because Mars is not just another planet. It is a mirror into which we look at ourselves. A world we study for traces of life. A world we dream of as our next home. And now an interstellar visitor will pass by. Not Earth, not Jupiter, but Mars. Coincidence, they say. Just another line drawn by gravity. But it is hard not to notice this moment. Just as we whisper in fossils and Martian rocks, as rovers scrape the soil for traces of ancient microbes, along comes the Tri-Atlas, crossing the same orbit, passing by the very world we consider humanity's second home. The odds were never supposed to line up this way. The path of the 3 Atlas passes Venus, then Mars, then Jupiter. A sequence with odds of 1 in 20,000. Here we are, with Mars in the spotlight. For centuries, we have explored its deserts, imagined canals, dreamed up civilizations, sent machines to crawl through its dust, always asking ourselves, are we alone? Now imagine the question being posed in reverse. It is not we who are looking at Mars, but something else that is looking back at us. If you were an ancient traveler, where would you look for moons that are not frozen, for empty belts? You would look at Earth and at our neighbor, also in the habitable zone, Mars. That's where 3 Atlas is headed. Coincidence or exploration? Astronomers insist it's an accident, a trajectory carved by gravity, but even they admit, the dust is strange, the chemistry is strange, the speed is strange. So how many anomalies can we reject before the word coincidence starts to crack at the seams? As 3 Atlas flies past Mars, telescopes will be watching from Earth, from orbit, from the rovers themselves. Every gaze will search for fragments of truth. Perhaps we'll see nothing out of the ordinary, just dust, gas, a forked tail glowing green. But perhaps we'll also see a message written in motion, a reminder that the void is not empty. Because even if it's only ice, only rock, the timing is impossible to ignore. Mars is where we look for life. Mars is where we plan to walk. And then 3 Atlas appears. Not by invitation, not by plan, but by design, perhaps not ours. And that is why this moment is so important, because for the first time, We are not the only ones passing Mars.